First contact and betrayal. The stars hung like distant lanterns in the endless void as Captain Alina Reyes stood on the observation deck of the UES Everest, Earth's first deep space exploration vessel capable of traveling beyond the solar system. Humanity had finally broken the barriers of conventional space travel, and the excitement aboard the ship was palpable. "Captain, we've detected an anomaly at coordinates 227 to 89,443. Lieutenant Zhang reported, his voice tense with anticipation. "The signature doesn't match anything in our database." Alina moved swiftly to the command center, where holographic displays showed a massive object approaching their position. It wasn't natural. The movements were too precise, too deliberate. The crew held their breath as the object came into visual range. "My God," whispered Commander Jackson. "That's a ship." The alien vessel dwarfed the Everest, its sleek silver hull adorned with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change. It was beautiful in a way that made Alina's heart race. Humanity's first contact with an extraterrestrial civilization was about to happen on her watch. "Open all communication channels," Alina ordered, her voice steady despite the storm of emotions inside her. Standard greeting protocol. The response came almost immediately, not in words, but in mathematical equations that translated across the ship's systems into understandable language. The aliens called themselves the Vexari, and they had been watching Earth for decades, waiting for humans to achieve deep space travel capability. The first meeting between humans and the Vexari was historic. The aliens appeared humanoid, but with silver-blue skin and eyes that reflected light like mirrors. They offered friendship, knowledge, and a place in what they called the Galactic Confederation, a loose alliance of spacefaring species. Earth's governments, after initial skepticism, embraced this new relationship. The Vexari shared technology that accelerated human development by centuries. Within 5 years, Earth had established colonies on distant planets, built a fleet of ships capable of faster-than-light travel, and begun trading with other alien species through Vexari intermediaries. It was a golden age of exploration and prosperity. Earth's resources, once dwindling, were supplemented by materials from asteroid mining and extraterrestrial farming. Diseases that had plagued humanity for millennia were cured with Vexari medical knowledge. The standard of living rose globally, and for the first time in history, Earth was united in peace. Admiral Marcus Chen, head of Earth's newly formed Space Defense Force, was one of the few who maintained caution. "They've given us so much," he argued in closed meetings with world leaders, "but what do they want in return? No civilization is this generous without purpose." His concerns were dismissed as paranoia until communications with Novaterra, Earth's largest off-world colony, suddenly went silent. In the United Nations Space Command headquarters beneath the Rocky Mountains, alarms blared as reports flooded in. The Vexari fleet, once stationed near Earth as protection, had vanished. Simultaneously, unknown ships appeared around every human colony world. "We're receiving distress signals from all colonies," reported General Lena Davidson, her face ashen. "They're under attack by the Vexari." The betrayal was swift and devastating. The technology the Vexari had shared contained hidden backdoors, allowing them to disable Earth's defenses with a single command. Colony after colony fell as the alien ships bombarded them from orbit. Admiral Chen stood before the Emergency Council, his expression grim. "The Vexari deceived us from the beginning. They've positioned themselves as intermediaries between humanity and the galaxy to control our resources and expansion. Now they're eliminating what they see as competition. What can we do?" President Torres asked, the weight of humanity's survival heavy in her voice. "Our ships are outmatched, our weapons ineffective against their shields." Admiral Chen exchanged a glance with Dr. Eliza Wong, head of Earth's Advanced Weapons Research. After a long moment, he spoke. "There's something we haven't shared with the Vexari, something we've been developing in secret since first contact. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, In a facility unknown even to most of Earth's military leadership, Project Prometheus had been underway for years. While publicly embracing Vexeri technology, Dr. Wong and her team had been studying it, reverse engineering it, and combining it with theoretical human innovations that the aliens had dismissed as inefficient or impossible. The Vexeri underestimated human creativity. Dr. Wong explained as she led the world leaders through the underwater facility. They gave us tools but didn't understand how we might use them differently. The facility's massive central chamber opened to reveal Earth's secret weapon, a fleet of massive battleships unlike anything humanity had built before. Where Vexeri ships were sleek and elegant, these were imposing and brutal, designed not just for space travel, but for war. The Leviathan-class battleships, Admiral Chen announced with pride. 8 vessels, each armed with weapons that combine Vexeri energy technology with human nuclear capability. Their shields operate on principles the Vexeri consider theoretically impossible. Most importantly, they're completely isolated from the backdoors in our other systems. The lead ship, the UES Defiance, stretched nearly 2 kilometers from bow to stern. Its dark hull was reinforced with exotic alloys, and massive weapon emplacements lined its sides like the teeth of a predator. How soon can they be deployed? President Torres asked, hope sparking for the first time since the attack began. They're ready now, Dr. Wong replied. We've been conducting underwater tests for months. The crews are trained. They're just waiting for the order. Within hours, Earth's last hope was mobilizing. The Leviathan ships rose from the ocean depths, water cascading from their massive hulls as they ascended toward the stars. On the command deck of the Defiance, Admiral Chen addressed the combined crews of Earth's secret fleet. The Vexeri believe they know everything about us, he said, his voice carrying to every ship. They think they've seen the extent of human capability. They're wrong. Today we show them what happens when humanity is pushed to the edge. We don't fall. We fight back. Across the solar system, the remaining human outposts were making their last stands. The colony on Mars had been reduced to a handful of underground bunkers. The research station orbiting Jupiter was barely maintaining life support. Nova Terra, once home to millions, was under occupation, its people forced into labor camps to mine resources for the Vexeri. The Leviathan fleet's first FTL jump took them to Mars. The Vexeri occupation force, consisting of 5 warships, didn't detect the human vessels until they were already in weapons range. Their complacent monitoring of the conquered planet had made them vulnerable. All ships target enemy vessels, Admiral Chen ordered. Fire at will. The Defiance's main cannon charged, drawing power from its revolutionary reactor core. When it fired, a blinding beam of energy lanced across space and struck the lead Vexeri ship. The alien vessel's shields, which had easily repelled conventional human weapons, flared bright blue for an instant before collapsing completely. The beam continued through, cutting the ship in half. Across the fleet, similar weapons fired. 4 of the 5 Vexeri ships were destroyed in the first volley. The 5th managed to send a distress signal before being reduced to floating debris. On the bridge of the Defiance, a cheer went up from the crew. Admiral Chen allowed himself a small smile. Set course for Jupiter. We have more colonies to liberate. As reports of the human counterattack reached the Vexeri command, panic spread through their ranks. The prey had suddenly become the predator, and nothing in their experience had prepared them for the ferocity of humanity's response. In the void between worlds, Earth's battleships moved with purpose, their massive engines pushing them to speeds the Vexeri had thought impossible for vessels of their size. The galaxy, which had watched silently as humanity was betrayed, now trembled as Earth's battleships carved a path of retribution through the stars. Part 2. The Counter-Offensive and New Galactic Order. The liberation of Earth's colonies proceeded with methodical precision. After Mars came Jupiter's moons, then the outer colonies of Saturn and beyond. Each victory bolstered the morale of Earth's forces and spread fear among the Vexeri. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of the Defiance, watching as the last Vexari ship orbiting Titan, Saturn's largest moon, burst into flames. "Status report on the colony," he ordered. "Life support systems are damaged but functioning," reported Commander Dias. "Population is at 82% of pre-invasion numbers. They're requesting medical teams and supplies. Send them everything they need," Chen replied. "And prepare the fleet for jump to Novaterra. It's time to hit the heart of their operation." Novaterra had been Earth's pride, a garden world with vast oceans and fertile land, capable of supporting billions of human lives. Now it served as the Vexari headquarters for their campaign against humanity. Intelligence gathered from liberated colonies indicated that nearly half the Vexari fleet was stationed there, along with their command structure. On Earth, President Torres addressed the United Nations. "The tide has turned," she declared to thunderous applause. "Our forces have liberated 6 colonies and are preparing to strike at Novaterra itself. The Vexari believed they could subjugate humanity. They were wrong." Screens around the world showed footage of the massive Earth battleships in action. People who had lived in fear for months now watched with pride as human ingenuity fought back against overwhelming odds. In deep space, the Leviathan fleet prepared for its most challenging battle yet. The 8 battleships had been joined by smaller vessels salvaged from liberated colonies, forming a formidable armada. Admiral Chen knew that even with their advanced technology, attacking Novaterra would be a desperate gamble. "The Vexari have concentrated their forces," he told his officers during the final briefing. "They have 27 capital ships and numerous support vessels. They'll be expecting us this time." Dr. Wang, who had joined the fleet aboard the Defiance, offered a ray of hope. "We've analyzed the data from previous engagements. The Vexari are adapting their shields to our weapons, but their adaptations are predictable. We've modified our attack patterns accordingly." The jump to Novaterra brought the Earth fleet into the middle of the Vexari armada. The battle began immediately, with energy beams and exotic projectiles crisscrossing the void. The Defiance took heavy fire, its shields flaring as they absorbed impact after impact. "Shields at 60% and holding," reported the tactical officer. "Enemy vessels concentrating fire on our port side." Admiral Chen studied the tactical display. "They're trying to herd us away from the planet. Maintain course and target their flagship." The massive Vexari command ship, easily identified by its distinctive golden hull, was hanging back from the main engagement, coordinating the alien forces. If it could be disabled or destroyed, the Vexari fleet would be thrown into disarray. As the battle raged, something unexpected happened. A transmission cut through the combat frequencies, originating from the surface of Novaterra. "This is Dr. Sophia Reed, head of the human resistance on Novaterra. We've sabotaged the Vexari ground installations. Their fleet is operating without ground support. Hit them now." The human resistance, composed of colonists who had escaped the initial invasion, had been waging a guerrilla war for months. Now they had delivered a critical advantage at the perfect moment. "All ships, concentrate fire on the Vexari flagship," Chen ordered. "Breakthrough formation." The Earth fleet shifted into an arrowhead configuration with the Defiance at its tip. The battleships accelerated, plowing through the Vexari formation, their weapons blazing. 3 Earth vessels were critically damaged in the maneuver, but the rest broke through, bringing their main weapons to bear on the Vexari flagship. The combined firepower of 5 Leviathan-class battleships overwhelmed the flagship's defenses. Its shields collapsed in a cascade of energy, and the golden hull blackened under the assault. Secondary explosions rippled along its length as internal systems failed. Rather than destroying the crippled vessel, Admiral Chen ordered a boarding action. "We need their command structure intact. Send in the Marines." Earth's Space Marines, equipped with powered armor that combined Vexari technology with human design, breached the alien flagship. The fighting was fierce but brief. Within hours, the Vexari High Commander was in custody, and the rest of their fleet, receiving no orders, began to withdraw. The liberation of Nova Terra revealed the full extent of Vexari atrocities. Human colonists had been subjected to experimentation, forced labor, and worse. The evidence gathered would later be instrumental in the war crimes tribunals. 2 weeks after the battle, representatives from a dozen alien civilizations arrived at Earth. They had been watching the conflict from afar, assessing humanity's strength. What they had seen had changed the galactic perception of humans from primitives to potential equals. In the United Nations Grand Assembly Hall, now expanded to accommodate non-human delegations, Admiral Chen and President Torres welcomed the alien representatives. The Vexari deceived not only humanity but many of you as well, Torres addressed the gathering. They positioned themselves as intermediaries and peacekeepers while exploiting our divisions for their gain. The Centauri ambassador, a tall being with iridescent skin, spoke for many. We observe your response to the Vexari betrayal with great interest. Few species have ever repelled them successfully. None have done so with such creativity. Earth's battleships had demonstrated capabilities that shocked even advanced civilizations. The combination of Vexari energy technology with human nuclear science had produced weapons of unprecedented power. More importantly, the human approach to warfare, adaptive, unpredictable, and relentlessly innovative, had proven superior to the methodical tactics of the Vexari. Humanity does not seek conquest, President Torres clarified. We fought to survive, to liberate our people, and to ensure such betrayal never happens again. What followed was the formation of a new Galactic Council, one where Earth had a seat at the table, not as a junior member, but as a founding power. The Vexari, their fleet decimated and their leadership captured, were confined to their home system under multi-species supervision. Admiral Chen, standing on the observation deck of the Defiance as it orbited Earth, watched shuttles carrying alien diplomats to and from the surface. Dr. Wong joined him, her expression thoughtful. They still underestimate us, she said quietly. They think our ships are the extent of our capability. Chen nodded. Let them think that. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our nature. We adapt. We innovate. And when pushed too far, we fight back. Wong finished. Below them, Earth continued its rotation, its nations now united not by fear, but by pride. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger, wiser, and with a new place in the galactic community. The stars, once distant and mysterious, now represented not just possibility but proven potential. In shipyards orbiting Mars, construction had already begun on a new generation of vessels. Not just warships this time, but exploration crafts, diplomatic carriers, and trading vessels. Humanity was reaching out to the stars not as conquerors or victims, but as equals. The galaxy, which had once dismissed Earth as an insignificant backwater, now watched with a mixture of respect and wariness as human ships ventured into regions previously unknown. The message was clear. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and the universe would never be the same again.